Special thanks to Synergy Entertainment and Synergy Cinemas for sponsoring this episode of Movie Time with Crash. You ever see a movie where two friends basically want to relive their childhood and want to relive the glory days of their youth and decide to go out and do something to sort of recapture that youth? You've seen that trope many times in movies before. I'm sure you have. And there's even been movies that have specifically outright said, oh yeah, these are grown men having a midlife crisis. And with them having a midlife crisis, they're doing something outrageous and outlandish to sort of curb and fulfill this midlife crisis that they're having. I feel like this movie is their way of trying to sort of slither around that. They're really trying to sort of stretch and coil their way around life itself. But it's weird because this film starts out somewhat sincere and somewhat emotional for the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And then the rest of it is just joke after joke after joke after comedy after joke after joke after comedy. And then it turns into meta humor with comedy. And then it tries to do this sort of wraparound take. Oh, and trust me, that's going to be going off quite a bit, this review. Where, they try and squeeze as much, essence of this film as much as possible that's based off the original film and try and actually turn a lot of strange melodrama into comedy, and then the things that are supposed to be comedic are actually turned into these serious melodrama moments. So in case it has been obvious, I am talking about the Anaconda film with Paul Rudd and Jack Black. So, which it's not a reboot. No, it's not a reboot. It's apparently its own thing from what the marketing has said. And credit to Synergy Entertainment and Synergy Cinemas, because even when I went and saw the film and, got the hookup with my movie ticket and snacks and goodies, which thank you, by the way, once again, even they were in on sort of the bit, because a lot of the marketing stuff they had, they had these posters that they were giving away. They had a giant, gummy bear snake that you could buy and eat. So it's a giant snake gummy, basically. They had snake-themed prizes and stuff. And they even had a full menu dedicated to the movie for snacks. So, which was cool. So, I thought that was neat. So the experience with this film at Synergy Cinemas and Synergy Entertainment is definitely worth it. But how's the movie itself? Is it... Hang on, I'm going to try and be funny for a minute. Is it, quote unquote, you know, something that you would rattle see? Is it something that is up to scale? Or is this something that is subjected to comedy history? Or, you know, does this film actually just...
Boo! You stink!
Suck. Well, I gotta be honest. This movie was very just okay. It could have been better. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, and it knows this. It's kind of a shorter film, locking in at about maybe an hour and a half, if that. I think. I want to say close to that. It's about an hour 40. Yeah, it's about an hour 40. So, but if you get there, you know how theaters are. It's one of those things that, like, you could get there, honestly, even a couple minutes late and catch up with the plot. So, basically, and I can even tell you the plot pretty easily. Paul Rudd's having a midlife crisis because I guess apparently, and this is sort of a meta take as well too, Paul Life's career ever since Marvel's Ant-Man has been kind of hit or miss. And he's been starring in all sorts of different things. And he could be better. And so he kind of wants a better gig. And Jack Black's doing, I guess, wedding videos now. So you got two grown men having a sort of an existential midlife crisis, and reality's kind of falling apart. And so Paul Rudd decides we should refilm the entire Anaconda movie from Sony. And Jack Black's character's literally like, I don't know. Maybe I got a good life. I don't want to mess that up. Then he looks at his life and then he realizes, oh man, crap, my life's boring. Best to go and do this. Fine, I will be a screenwriter and we will get this done. But we gotta do it right. And so, this entire film is basically Jack Black and Paul Rudd's friendship dragging a whole cast of people into their shenanigans. So... and I think the comedy is kind of focused on that and sort of what goes on leading up to them filming their very clearly unauthorized, possibly illegal fan film indie edition of Anaconda from Sony Pictures. Which is weird because this version of Anaconda is ironically being published by Sony, and Sony owns the original rights to Anaconda. And Jack Black and Paul Rudd in the film I just saw were inspired by the original Anaconda and want to film their own version of Anaconda in the movie, talking about the film that they're in, which is Anaconda. But they're shooting a version of Anaconda that's in... It's a snake that's eating itself, basically. Nope, wait, it's on that side. Yeah, it's just constantly eating itself. And that's kind of the problem that I have with this film. It's the major one. This film is all over the place. It's kind of sort of eating its own tail nonstop. It doesn't know when to tell a joke. It doesn't know when to be serious and have a dramatic moment. It doesn't know when to be meta and when to not be meta. And it doesn't know when, like, to pace itself and breathe for like 5 seconds and drink a glass of water. Now, despite those issues, I got a few chuckles out of this film. I will say that 100%. I will admit it. There were a few lines and a few bits here and there that made me laugh. The action scenes were good, but not great. The melodrama is cheesy, but you're kind of going into this for it being cheesy, so you already know to not take it seriously. But it doesn't add anything to the layer of this film. And the casting is good, but the problem is most of the casting in this film, I really don't know who these people are outside of Paul Rudd and Jack Black. And the few surprise cameos, if you want to call it that, without spoiling anything. So, and what I said earlier was basically just the plot synopsis. Music's there. I feel like the music in this film just kind of is filler at this point. And if you love that song about my anaconda don't lie, you know, the specific Anaconda song, you know the one, you know, then that's going to be playing quite a bit in the film. So there's that. This film is just okay. At best. It's very like you could watch this on a weekend to kill some time kind of film. It's a, you know what, I don't got anything planned, I might as well go see Anaconda with Jack Black and Paul Rudd kind of film. It's not a film that like you're intentionally going out of your way to see. This is more of a film that you kind of stumble upon and realize, oh, well, I've got some time, you know, after Christmas and holidays and whatever. Which is funny because they literally marketed this film to come out like on Christmas. So, and despite it being a comedy, the problem is it tries to tell jokes that doesn't focus on the punchline. So, yeah. Is this film worth seeing? It's more of a matinee, I would say, more than anything. So, go see it on like a discount Tuesday or Wednesday or something. Go see it on the weekend if you want to kill some time. Obviously, go see it at Synergy Cinemas and Synergy Entertainment. So, but this movie really just feels like it misses the point of what it's trying to poke fun at. So,
you're a dumbass.
Anyhow. I know the puns are dumb. But that's it from me. Special thanks to Synergy for sponsoring today's review. Enjoy. And go see the movie if you want. If not, I don't know. Go watch the original Anaconda. Which is also ironic that that film is more action-packed and plot-focused than this. So, later.